Hey, I'm Zach.
And I'm Jesse.
And you're watching Tesla Time News.
Episode 79.
On Now You Know. Hey, before we get going, I want to thank our friends Sobi up at Evoto in Montreal. They run a awesome Tesla rental place. If you're ever up in Montreal in Canada and you want to rent a Tesla, they're the place to go. They sent us this awesome picture too. They're selling this cool gear called Evotarian gear. So go check out their website. We'll put it down below.
All right, so let's get into some news. So Jaguar's marketing department has struck again. So last week, everyone remembers how we completely crapped all over Jaguar. I don't remember doing that.
No.
I remember saying that I liked the car.
Yeah, I just said that I didn't like the marketing.
The marketing was a bit absurd, but the marketing department apparently heard that for sure and said, screw you, Zach and Jesse.
Really?
Ha ha ha.
What do they do?
Yes, they're going to add artificial motor noise to the interior of the Jaguar I-Pace.
Wait, so this isn't that noise that you hear when you're walking outside of an electric car that like lets you know that this is going to be like a vroom vroom sound?
This is a vroom vroom sound that goes on when you're at high speeds. Their idea, or I guess their excuse for this is because, first of all, they have a heritage of cars that make loud noises.
Yep.
And then also it's driver feedback, so you can know how fast you're going.
You wouldn't know.
You wouldn't know unless there was a... Is
that going to be the sound? You can have that sound, by the way, Jaguar, if you'd like.
You can absolutely take it. No, this is what it'll sound like. And so there's 3 different sounds, and they all blend together. They sort of mixed it. They showed it. They got like this DJ guy, and he, a sound engineer, put together some sounds for it. Put your comments down below whether you think that this is a good idea, bad idea. Do you want a quiet car or do you want a loud car? I guess that's the question.
What are these, Jesse? These look like some kind of fast chargers.
So these are fast chargers. This is from Ionity, which is a joint electric car charging network by BMW, Mercedes, Ford, and Volkswagen. I'm excited to see such a cool design. I don't care what they look like. I'll be honest. I don't care.
How many are they making?
They are planning to make 400 stations with a capacity of up to 350 kilowatts across Europe by 2020.
That's not far.
They started work on the first 20 stations last year, and they plan to hit a total of 100 stations this year.
Wait, in all of Europe?
In all of Europe, 100 stations. Now,
how many superchargers are there?
As of right now, there are 382 superchargers in Europe right now. So a little behind the 8 ball there.
But hey, more chargers is a good thing.
More chargers is always a good thing, so I'm very excited to hear it.
You know what's kind of interesting is that Elon tweeted this week that he's got a little change in how he wants the Boring Company to operate. Remember before there were going to be those sleds that would take your car and whisk them away?
Right. That is still gonna happen.
Right.
In a tweet, Elon said, adjusting the Boring Company plan, all tunnels in Hyperloop will prioritize pedestrians and cyclists over cars. It's interesting that he said all tunnels in Hyperloop. So that kind of makes me think like there's going to be some Hyperloop pods.
Yeah.
Elon went on to elaborate, saying the Boring Company urban loop system would have thousands of small stations the size of a single parking space that take you very close to your destination and blend seamlessly into the fabric of a city rather than a small number of big stations like a subway.
Now, I want to point something out that's really cool here that might get overlooked. He said thousands of small stations. Now, normally when you think about a station, you think of something that slows the network down because a station is where a train or a bus stops, unloads, loads, then keeps going. But in the case of these kind of sleds, I don't think it slows anything down because they're all able to get into the network without slowing down the other traffic because they all operate on some kind of autonomous smart grid.
Yeah, I have no idea how this is all going to work. I just know that, if you have trains or in this case sleds that go faster, everything's going to go faster. That's for sure. As long as, there are no holdups and stuff like that. I'm very excited.
I'm super excited.
It's like a whole new manner of transport. Like when everyone was super excited about monorails, everyone thought that was going to be the coolest, biggest thing. I am now thinking that this is the coolest, biggest thing, except that I think that this could work.
I really do. And also, I love that he's focusing on people who have bikes or just walking as opposed to you don't need a car when you're in a city, especially if you have this this network.
Right. And that brings me to to people density. You're able to pack more people into a moving object. So instead of all being in a car, you can pack like 15 people into one of these pods and zip them across the city. That's awesome.
It is awesome. So, Jesse, VW goes back to the 1400s.
Oh, that is splendid,
Yes.
my good sir.
Yes. Did you hear that the CEO, Matthias Müller, has said renaissance for diesel cars?
Yes. Diesel, of course, which
Yes.
belongs, of course, in the Renaissance era.
It is a wonderful thing. Let us read some quotes from the CEO of VW.
Diesel will see a renaissance in the not too distant future. Because I'm sorry, I'll stop. Because people who drove diesels will realize that it is a very comfortable drive concept, said Chief Executive Officer Matthias Müller at the Geneva International Auto Show.
Yeah, he went on to say, once the knowledge that diesels are eco-friendly firms up in people's minds, then for me, there's no reason not to buy one.
The rules of the game in the EU in relation to climate protection and emissions goals of CO2 are so challenging that governments cannot do without diesel.
Herbert Diess, who heads Volkswagen's namesake mass market brand, he said, we need diesel to get to the CO2 goals. Electric vehicles in many cases won't keep frequent drivers happy. We need diesel to be able to cope with our CO2 fleet targets. We think diesel is part of the solution, not the problem.
This is, first of all, let's just preface, bull. I think that this is absurd. I think that
they are doubling down on the wrong answer.
How could you possibly be doubling down on diesel right now? They're being banned. They're going to be banned from cities in Germany.
Right.
I mean, people are already suing them over their cars.
But you know what? They're not the only ones. Get this. This is Ford's Stephen Armstrong. He's the chief of the automaker's European operations. He says, we still see a future for diesel. Although on some smaller vehicles, I do believe it will progressively disappear. We have to work to gain consumer trust to make sure they believe the messaging that new diesels are clean.
Believe the messaging.
Yeah, that's not right.
We have to gain their trust so they can believe the messaging, not gain their trust so they can buy diesel cars, which proving here is some science that will solve climate change. He's just saying that they're going to believe the messaging. They are stuck so far up the diesel tailpipe that, I mean, really.
And then companies like Toyota, which I thought would never really fully get on board with electrics, right? Because they're so far into the hydrogen fuel. They are actually getting rid of diesels in Europe by the end of this year.
I think that this is probably the biggest piece of news from the Geneva Motor Show. Johan van Zyl, president and chief executive officer of Toyota Motor Europe, told journalists, Toyota will stop selling diesel passenger cars in all European markets by the end of this year. In some markets, they will be phased out even faster. Some by the end of this quarter. They get it. And I mean, this is because it's going to get phased out. I mean, there is such a backlash against diesel, and rightfully so, that, I mean, whole cities and hopefully whole countries are going to be completely banning diesel cars.
Yeah.
I can't wait for it. I am excited for it. And if VW does not get on the bandwagon, the only reason why I would be sad is because I do want to see their electric VW bus and VW Bug.
Yeah.
That's the only reason that I care.
It's a new breed of trucks, Jesse.
All right. So here are some Tesla semi prototypes that were filmed driving around in the wild with cargo for the first time.
How exciting.
So they're driving between the Fremont factory and the Gigafactory. I think that this is really exciting.
Fully loaded.
And we saw some Tesla trucks charging at superchargers.
Ooh.
Now, this to me is exciting because, I mean, we're going to get a Tesla truck.
That means that we can charge a supercharger?
Means we can charge at superchargers, which means that we can go pretty much anywhere. I mean, It's not going to be convenient, I'm sure, especially we're probably going to have to dump the trailer somewhere and then, charge and take up 3 days. I mean, it's not going to be very fair. We're going to try to be as nice as possible.
Right.
But I mean, I assume we'll have the Roadster there with us, so we can distract some of the other Tesla owners who are waiting to charge with the Roadster, perhaps. It's so cool to see the semi truck with cargo and accelerating. This one clip in particular, where it's getting on the ramp, and you don't see a truck do this often. It sort of turned, made the turn onto the ramp, and then sort of zipped off.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's pretty
and
cool.
Also, it's not just Tesla. We've got Uber here. They are operating their self-driving trucks. They're going to move freight for customers. So in Topic, Arizona, they've got a hub for Uber's self-driving truck program. It's called Uber Freight. So you'll bring your trucks with freight on them with a human driver to this drop-off point from California, let's say. And then at the hub, they'll be hooked up to an autonomous truck. Now, there'll be a safety driver in the truck, but then that autonomous truck will head east with that cargo. How exciting is that?
Now, are those electric trucks?
They are not.
Okay. Well, that's kind of lame.
It's lame, but it's autonomous. And then check this out. We've got Waymo, which is operating Peterbilt trucks. And they're now in California, Arizona, and soon to be in Atlanta, Georgia. So you'll start seeing these Waymo blue trucks on the road. And these will be, again, autonomous driven trucks. They will have safety drivers in them. If you see any of these on the road, I would love it if you send us some video and pictures.
Right. Again, diesel trucks. Lame.
All right. So what is this I hear about Bolt wants an increase in production?
So GM's CEO, Mary Barra, said, "We are encouraged by this momentum, and because of increasingly global demand for the Chevrolet Bolt EV, we are announcing today that we will increase Bolt EV production later this year in our Orion assembly plant north of Detroit."
Yay. That's exciting. How many more Bolts do they want to make?
I don't know. She did not specify the level of production that they plan to achieve with the Bolt, but the previous target had been around 30,000 units per year. And GM said that they delivered around 26,000 units globally last year. With a lack of details, this is essentially lip service. However, when the lip service is saying the right things, it is hopefully pointing to the right direction in a couple of years. I mean, you have to keep in mind that GM is a huge ship, and to steer that ship in a completely different direction is going to take a while. These very positive comments and stuff, I think, are a good indication that they have actually began to turn the rudder and that the ship will hopefully make a turn.
So CEO Mary Barra also said something pretty positive. She called on Congress to expand the consumer tax credit for electric vehicles. She said, "We feel tax credit should be expanded so our customers continue to receive the benefit going forward. We believe in an all-electric future. GM's commitment to an all-electric zero-emissions future is unwavering, regardless of any modifications to future fuel economy standards." That's pretty positive.
Yes, it's probably being driven by the fact that GM has sold more than 160,000 plug-in and full electric vehicles that were eligible for the tax credit. That means that the $7,500 tax credit will soon be phased out once they hit the 200,000 car mark,
Now,
which they're expected to hit at the end of this year.
Yeah, and that's exciting to me because I don't think that GM would have made the statement unless they thought there was a chance that they could get Congress to actually push that back.
Right. I think that that's probably the most positive thing I've ever heard coming from GM.
Yeah.
Since before they crushed the EV1.
All right, it's time for some Model 3 news. It's just a little tidbitty of a thing.
Just a little
update.
with a thin mint, if you will. And that is an update, over-the-air update, which are so fun.
Yeah, what can you do with this one?
In the release notes, aside from some many bug fixes, here's the quote. "Need to load packages into your Model S and X or 3?
Yes.
Now you can open the front and rear trunks ahead of time using the Tesla mobile app, so that when you walk up to your vehicle, it will be ready for you to easily place the items inside."
I like that. Also, one of these little fix-its you're thinking of here, you're mentioning, I think is the tire pressure. You're able to reset it now on the Model 3. You weren't able to do that before, and I think you can now.
Well, there you go.
Did you know that Bloomberg New Energy Finance has come out with a prediction that half of all buses within the next 7 years will be electric?
Wow. That's
I was
cool.
pretty blown away. Take a look at this chart here. Last year, 386,000 electric buses were sold in the world. And Bloomberg predicts that will increase to 1.2 million electric buses by 2025. Guess where most of those buses are going to be?
Disney World.
The answer is China. Yeah, 99% are expected to be in China.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy. Why?
Because their cities are making a huge push to electrify to cut back on pollution.
Well, I think that is pretty good. Funny that Bloomberg has a new energy department.
Yeah, not
Do
the
they
old
have an
energy.
old energy department?
That's down the hall.
Is that just a bunch of guys smoking cigars being like, yeah, cool.
I got a charge for you.
Yeah.
And Jesse, I know you are a plastics engineer, so you're probably going to appreciate this. This is a company called Precious Plastic. Take a look at this.
We are Precious Plastic, and we don't like waste. So we made an entire plastic recycling workspace inside an old shipping container. It contains all the tools and machines to turn plastic waste into valuable things. Plastic is collected, shredded and turned into something new, all inside the space. This workspace can turn plastic trash into, let's say, beautiful bowls in any color, or strong wall grips. And with precise molds, it can make precise objects. Or simply make any wall more beautiful. Make beams and construct a big tower, or start small with a jewelry collection. This workspace can be set up all over the world, from cities to tropical beaches to the middle of a landfill. Plastic trash goes in, valuable items out. We share step-by-step instruction videos and all the technical drawings to build this workspace yourself. Open source, online, for free. Plus tutorials on how to make objects, a big community of helpers, plus an online marketplace to buy and sell products. So people from all over the world, like you, can set up a little recycle business, turning plastic waste into valuable things. Now you can set up a workspace like this yourself, anywhere in the world, and start recycling plastic. However, we're also aware it can be a bit overwhelming to set up something like this yourself. So we created a map where people can collaborate and find each other. Let others know you're ready to take action, whether it's promoting, funding, collecting, building, helping, selling. At all fronts, help is needed. Add yourself to our map, find each other and start. Oh, and make sure to spread this message around. It might not be you that wants to get started, but it could be your friend, family, neighbor. So let's make sure they know they can. Visit preciousplastic.com for all the information.
Wow, that is really good. So I'm a plastics engineer. I was trained in plastics engineering, and I hate plastics. After learning about how they're made, and then why they're made, and what happens to them after they're made, that last part they don't teach you in school.
No.
This is really what plastics should be. Plastic is this really extremely reusable resource. I mean, I don't love them. I don't think that we should just make things out of them and then throw them away and let the fish eat them and then, you know.
But you know what's wrong in this country, especially with plastic, is that, I mean, as you know, we take plastic and we think we're doing the right thing. Oh, I put it in the recycle bin. But most of that plastic, other than number one,
it does not get recycled.
Number two.
Number two.
But as you go down the list, as you get into the 3s, the 4s, and so forth, they get recycled less and less because they have less and less value. I mean, let's be honest, polystyrene, it's worthless. So it doesn't get recycled.
It's worthless in the fact that creating a consumer product, everything has to be shiny. If you grab anything, this for instance, this looks amazing. This looks like something, you know, you'd see in a movie that, you know, the main character. Yeah, the main character would be like, Captain, the readings say that, you know, whatever. It looks unbelievable, and its only job is to hold SD cards.
Right.
Does it need to look this awesome?
No.
No, it does not. And so if you make something out of recycled plastic, yes, it's going to have that certain look, but it's going to function exactly the same. Please, I mean, if you are in any way interested, you can turn this into a business.
Yeah, I mean, we just put our name on the list too. Like, you can just be a person who wants to help out with marketing. You can be a person who just go check it out. It's so cool.
Check it out.
All right, it's time for the lightning round.
Here we go.
Let's go. All right, so UK is now gone back to 1890s levels in terms of their CO2 output.
Check out this graph. Just flew.
Yeah.
Thank you, offshore wind.
And that is because of a 19% drop in coal that they used this year.
Yeah, that's incredible. Amazing. We like to show you graphs and charts. This is a map of China's unhealthy air.
Yeah, this is from Berkeley Earth. It is showing you PM 2.5 as of January 31st of this year. Red is very unhealthy. That's pretty much all you need to know.
Yep. The Salt River Project has just settled a lawsuit lodged by Solar City, now Tesla, The suit alleged that SRP was charging unfair fees on potential solar power purchasers. Now, SRP has to buy a $10 million 25 megawatt battery from Tesla to power 6,000 homes to be installed at the Agua Fria generating station in Peoria. SRP also has to launch a limited incentive program for residential batteries as well.
Win Tesla.
That is a huge win for Tesla, and I guess that company has gotten their comeuppance.
So check this out, Jesse. In Bengaluru, the world's largest solar park is being built right now. It's going to span 13,000 acres. Wow. It's going to spread over 5 villages. It's going to have zero land acquisition. That means that the...
No. You just said 13,000 acres.
Yeah. They're renting the land from the farmers. 2,300 farmers are actually going to get paid for their farmland. So they're going to be farming sunlight.
Wow.
This entire 2,000 megawatts will be available by December of this year. Check out this new solar farm that's being built in Coahuila, Mexico. This is going to be 700 megawatts, and it should be done in the next 2 years and will be one of the largest on the American continent.
Wow. So for those of you who may have a Model S or X, you know that your tires wear about 30% faster. And that's because you are flooring it all the time.
Yes, we are.
But not to worry. Goodyear has got your back. They have specifically designed a tire for the higher torque, higher weight, and shorter ranges of electric cars by increasing the durability, which helps with torque, strengthening the sidewalls, which helps with weight, and lowering the rolling resistance, which increases range. So check out that tire. Really cool. It's
time for our video contributor story of the week. Our buddy Valentin is reporting on the Jaguar I-Pace. Take it away.
Hey, this is Valentin from Leipzig, Germany. The new Jag, how Jeremy Clarkson would put it, is the first all-electric Jaguar ever. I was invited by Jaguar to join the world premiere of this beautiful car, the Jaguar I-Pace in Graz, Austria. The car features a 90 kWh lithium-ion battery and accelerates from 0 to 100 km an hour in 4.8 seconds, that is 0 to 60 miles per hour in 4.5 seconds. Jaguar gives a WLTP range of 480 kilometers, that means basically 300 miles, which I think is a realistic and a good one. The car is a luxurious crossover SUV featuring of course a frunk and a trunk. It has 4-wheel drive and thanks to the low-sitting batteries, a very low center of gravity too. That makes it feel like it is more of a sports car than an SUV. It starts at 77,850 euros in Europe, including taxes, or $69,500 of course, like it is in the States, without taxes, license fees, retailer fees, etc. The only thing missing is support for 3-phase charging, allowing you to charge up to 22 kilowatts with alternating current. So charging using AC is limited to 7 kilowatts, which will probably only bother Europeans though. That said, quick charging is possible with 100 kilowatts direct current. The car will charge from 0 to 50% in 40 minutes and can go 100 kilometers or 62 miles after only 15 minutes of quick charging with 100 kilowatts. The Jaguar I-Pace is made to be a Tesla Model X competitor with a cheaper price and similar range. It's also a little smaller, fitting European standards. I personally think that is a really attractive looking car. In Germany it will come with a plug surfing account and will provide free charging for 30 minutes of quick charging using plug surfing. That is the new Jaguar I-Pace. And with that, back to you, second Jesse.
Nice. Thank you, Valentin. All right, it's time for our Patreon bonus story of the week. If you want to head over to Patreon, you can sign up to support us for as little as $1 a month, and you get to see all of our Patreon bonus stories. So head over there now, and we'll see you there.
This week is a double. Oh. So for those of you Patreons, you're getting double your money. How's that?
Nice. Hey everybody, we're back from our Patreon bonus story. I want to give a big shout out to our Patreon supporters who support us with $5 or more a month. And so we'd like to thank
Robert Denny,
James A. Higgins,
Peter and Will Anderson,
Jurgen Kaufman,
Roland Lee,
Terrell Alexander,
Steve Pax,
and Steve Copenhaver.
Thank you so much for supporting the show. We couldn't do this without you, and we couldn't ever make the show better without our wonderful patrons. So thank you.
True dat. It's time for Elon's tweet of the week.
Here we go.
So Elon tweeted, "Life cannot just be about solving one sad problem after another. There needs to be things that inspire you, that make you glad to wake up in the morning and be part of humanity. That is why we did it. We did it for you."
It's so true. I cannot tell you how much better I felt after watching the Falcon Heavy launch. I mean,
I've felt good since it. Like it's made me feel like I have a spring in my step.
right. Having something that isn't necessarily just another solution to a problem, but something that's really just inspiring, that is a really good feeling to have. And
I wonder if this is how the world felt in 1969 when we landed on the moon. Like if there was a spring in everybody's step. If you were alive back then, could you just like comment below and let me know if you had a spring in your step after that?
right. And I mean, I know that a lot of the people who are alive now who witnessed it were young. You were young when that happened. So, I mean, it might, the whole weight of it probably didn't hit you. And I wonder if it hit, your parents, quite in the same way that this hit me.
Yeah. I'm going to play the video. We can't play the soundtrack from it, but we're going to play the Brent and Bobby soundtrack from it. So here we go.
They all said Elon was a fool and that he would not have the tools to get human life on Mars. But take a look at the song and writing in his poster. Oh man, look at that storm and roll. And Elon's roadster. Take a look at SpaceX, launching rocket heavy to test the journey across the stars. And Elon's car is a life on
So that video was made by Jonathan Nolan, the screenwriter best known for his work with his brother Christopher Nolan and as the creator of HBO's Westworld, which would explain this picture here. This is Elon and his brother Kimball in Westworld attire.
That sounds really fun. Do you think they did it? Do you think they did Westworld?
I think they did. I want to see. I hope they made a cameo.
Maybe. You think he's in Westworld?
Yes, I do.
Like the show, because I was thinking that he was in Westworld, the experience.
Is there a Westworld experience?
No, but they probably made it happen. I would make it happen for you.
It's time for community mail time.
community mail time.
Our buddy Lance in Washington State, you remember he told us about HB 2653, which is a bill from Washington State. Well, it turns out he said that Washington State's HB 2653 passed the House and is working through the Senate. Thanks for spreading the word. We may have moved the needle enough.
Woohoo!
Yeah, just waiting on the Senate, and then the governor's ready to sign it.
Awesome.
Good work, guys. Also, our friend Gary in Illinois has an interesting idea I wanted to share with you guys. Get your thoughts. He said, how about a lottery ticket sale to win an electric car? Kind of like Powerball.
I think there have been lotteries like this, but I mean...
But like state-sponsored.
Instead
of just
like
winning
the lottery.
Yeah, instead of winning just a big pile of money, you would be winning like, a Roadster or electric car.
Yeah, I think that would be pretty fun.
Yeah, comment below what you think about it. And then here, always our favorite thing to see is pictures of Model 3s in Tampa, Florida from our friend Dwayne. So we put up a poll on Patreon last week. It said, where do you currently fall on the vegan spectrum? And well, check out the answers we got.
Now, this is a bit difficult to look at. So, Brent and Bobby, if you just take that graph and tilt it 90 degrees, now it's a bar graph. How about that? So I think that this is really interesting. There's a lot of people who are just like, I am eating whatever I ate when I was a child, right? And then you have some people, quite a few people who want to eat less meat. So I think that there are a lot of people who are right on the border, right on the fence. And it is so hard. I cannot tell you, it's so true how hard it is to go from, oh, I'll have a salad. Oh, you only have salads with chicken in it. Okay, fine. To going to like, I will cook my own food and make sure that I don't eat animal products and stuff like that. Like, it's really, really hard. Like, it's infinitesimally harder. It's asymptotally harder as you get closer and closer to full veganism.
Right.
Because, it's easy one day a week to cut out meat. And that's a huge thing. I mean,
it is.
I would recommend that,
just try it.
We don't all have to, be carrot munching vegan hippies or whatever.
Right.
If you're into meat and you think that you can't cut out meat or bacon. If you're like, I can't live without bacon,
Don't
then
live without.
then don't.
Right.
Have bacon, but then cut out some other stuff that you're like, you know what? Hamburgers, I'm not. I could go for
Or
vegan.
try vegan bacon.
You can try vegan bacon. Maybe you like it, maybe you don't. I mean, try it. If you don't like it, you can still go back to bacon.
Right.
But try and find things that you like. I mean,
because there's certain things you'd be amazed.
black bean burgers, I must say, objectively, if you just forget that one of them was made with meat and the other one was made by beans, black bean burgers just taste better.
They are delicious. They have more flavor.
Thank you to our Patreons for being our guinea pigs and
Answering our
working
polls.
on these polls. It's super helpful.
Science.
Really nice to see where everyone falls. There were 6 people who only eat pepper as the only vegetable.
Right.
And that's only when they put it on their steak.
It's time for our Superchargers. And I just want to remind everyone, I mean, we have this awesome Supercharger page.
Yes.
It's like the only thing in the world that has this.
We built it. So you can find
Nick built it.
Nick built it. You can find Superchargers, on other websites, but this is the only place where you can see video reviews.
And destination chargers.
Destination chargers.
All in one place.
If you are interested, if you like, I have a Tesla, I'm getting a Tesla, I want to know where I can charge my Tesla, check out all of these destination chargers.
Yeah. Or maybe you're a business and you want to know if you're the only place in town that's going to have one. Like there's so many reasons. And you can upload your videos so easily there. So go check it out.
Yeah. If you're going on a road trip or something and you're like, oh, I'm at a Supercharger, pull out your phone. Take some video of it. We'd love to see it.
All right. So open this week, Jesse, is...
Number 45 in Canada is the 20 stall in Etobicoke, Ontario. And I don't know if that's the correct way to pronounce it, but it's the way that I want to pronounce it.
The 10 stall in Big Rapids, Michigan.
Number 481 in the US, a 6 stall in Orlando, Universal Boulevard, Florida.
Number 382 in Europe is the 14 stall in Belitz, Germany. Now, this is the first one to open in Germany in a while because of that whole German law conflict problem. We've heard from friends in Germany that this is you have to have a special code to get into the place.
So as of right now, it is sort of locked off with chain, like a plastic chain, and you move it as a Tesla owner. You have to move it out of the way. But that in the future, that there will be a gate where you have to enter a PIN,
right,
and your Tesla will tell you the PIN. This is all to get around a stupid German law.
Right.
So if you're in Germany, we'll put a link to a petition against that stupid law.
And hey, let's just see some Supercharger reviews.
Hello, this is Harvey Bay here. We came to actually find a charger, Tesla charger in Stockland Shopping Center. So wherever you are, and if there is a Stockland Shopping Center, chances are there will be Tesla charger, which is usually 3-phase, 16 amp, and it charges 55 kilometers per hour.
What up, Zach? Hello, Jesse. So we're here in Affi, North Italy, close to the Garda Lake, and we have an 8-stall station as a Tesla charger. And as you can see, there are 2 Model S's. I wish we had a Model 3 in Italy, not yet. It's coming out probably in 2020, who knows. And here we have, it's right next to McDonald's, we have a Burger King there, we have a small city center, and here we have the freeway, so it's really easy to get here, and eventually we're gonna have more. So bye Lorenzo.
Well, Zach and Jesse, this is the Steel Alabama Supercharger. As you can see, there are about 8 chargers. The only amenities here is a Love's truck stop with not too many amenities, Subway, and restaurants. So I would rate this probably about a 5 out of comparison of all the different Superchargers I've seen.
Hello, Zach and Jesse. Just a quick report from the new Supercharger 8-stall system at Castle Bellingham, Apple Green in Ireland. It's on the M1 southbound between Dublin and Belfast. The facility has lots of amenities. You can see the Apple Green there. There's a food court in there. All kinds of everything to be got. Okay, take care. Goodbye from Ireland.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. It's so nice to see all of your wonderful reviews. We really, really enjoy it. I want to mention really quickly that if you are buying a Model S or Model X, you can actually get a ride in a Tesla Roadster sitting next to one of yours truly's. one of yours truly. Yours is
You never get it
truly's. If you use our referral code.
Yeah.
And you'll also help us earn a Roadster that we can drive in Europe. I also want to remind you guys that if you use our referral code to sign up for the Tesla newsletter, which is a heck of a lot cheaper than a Model S or Model X, which I've found out, you can win a chance to race the Tesla Semi.
Yeah, and there's not as many entries as I thought. You really do have a good chance of winning because they do it every week or so. So like, there's a good chance.
There's
every
like
week.
one a week?
Yeah, it's like there's a lot of chances to win.
Oh, well then you really should get on it.
Yeah. Thanks so much for watching, everybody.
Now you know.